there's no sound, then we will not do that. So hopefully, can you guys quickly check? I might have 2 streams open on my channel right now. Let us see. Yeah, we're at the start of the stream anyway, right? So I have all the options here. There's only 100 people in. I think this one might actually go pretty well if we do get the people in that I'm trying to get in. Yeah, you can check. I have 2 streams open. If it's well, let me quickly see if there's sound. There's sound. All right. All right. Guys, all head over to this stream right here. That's the second stream I'm opening, and that's because I want to reset the settings real quick. I want to make sure that we have all the sound available that I'd like to have and whatnot. Just join that one, and yeah, that's it, I think. Just join the other stream, guys. Let me end this stream real quick. And the reason I'm doing that is mostly because then I can invite other people over. So check that stream out, guys, and see you in just a second. All right, head over, and make sure you press the like button. Let's quickly see. Let's end this one. And let's see. Hope we're still good, guys. Yeah, quickly confirm for me if all is good on this one. Are we good? Okay. Okay, guys, I'm going to send a couple of massive invites over to some some cool people. By the way, crypto exchange AAX has also halted withdrawals. Stopped. Just quickly writing it down. And I have to change the link on the previous Twitter. Discard. Sorry, guys, for taking a little bit of your time. I'm so sorry. But things will be worth it as long as we continue on with my plan. So then it will all be good. We are live streaming right now. Somebody says more likes. You know, likes don't actually give you anything, right? So it's actually a net loss. Yeah, there we go. All right, perfect. So right now, what I'm doing, by the way, is I'm sending this stream to a couple of my friends with the hopes that potentially one of the guys actually stops by to potentially get, well, a little bit of a interesting discussion going or so. I'm going to send it to Crypto Rover. I'm going to send it to, hopefully one of the guys is ready to do that. I'm going to set it over to Satoshi Stacker. Sound was 10 on the other one. Oh, this sound is worse? Little sound is less. Okay, let me quickly fix that. Okay, there's absolutely... Man, guys, I'm so sorry for having a little bit of a strange stream right here, guys. It's just because I'm trying to do something that I've not done before, which is getting people over into the chat box, which is causing me a little bit of trouble. And because I'm using a different piece of software that I've never used before, that usually, for example, just lets me put the microphone settings to like 350, whatever percent, whatever the fuck I want. And this one does not allow for that. So that is definitely not the best. That's annoying. That's really annoying, but I can't fix it. Okay, let me turn up the... I'm just going to turn it up behind my thing. All right, maybe that's better? Is that better? Is that louder? Most of the organized stream have done in a little while, but it's good. It's not that bad. Great. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Let's do a couple of different things. I am right now sending this over to... If any, I'll send it in my YouTube group. Anybody is down to join my live stream to give your thoughts on the situation. Okay. There we go. There we go. All right, perfect. I've sent it over to a couple of different people, and let us see over the next couple of minutes if some people are going to respond and if they are having some words to say. We shall see. We shall see. We shall see. Let's cover the situation, as things are, in my opinion, rather interesting and pretty damn crazy. All right. I should also turn that sound off right now. Okay, I have too many. Okay, so we have one other commenter that wants to get in on all this. Let me turn these mute sounds. Mute. Okay, so Crypto Birb, one of my good friends here and one of the best people on this earth, is going to join in just a little bit. We'll get that done, and hopefully I have all the settings correct right now, and then we can go on with a normal stream where I explain everything, and we can just have a normal conversation. All right, there we go. Perfect. I'm happy, guys. I'm very happy. Finally. Woo! Okay, let's cover the situation from the get-go. See whatever happens in just a second. All right, we'll see whatever happens in just a second. Let's cover the situation from beginning to end. There's been a crazy amount of FUD in the crypto space right now. Partially FUD, partially just negative news, and it's basically headlined by CZ, the CEO of Binance. I'd say that he's the main... Okay, I have to stay here because the other tabs don't have an audio capture device. Let's just stay here for right now. He's the main guy that has been just gaslighting all this negativity in the crypto space, but for very good reason. I honestly think he is in the right by telling people, take your money off of these platforms. Right now, there have been a multitude of different platforms that have stopped withdrawals to some degree, and it's quite scary. One of them, again, is FTX, which has 134 different subsidiaries or companies it's connected to. 134 companies just went bankrupt. And we've also seen over on my Twitter a lot of these different companies that FTX was involved with. You can see right here, Alameda and FTX were involved with a ton of different platforms. And, well, basically because of all that, I personally think a lot of other companies could fall over. And I was just in a Twitter space with about 20,000 other people where a lot of the guys were also saying, yeah, well, most likely, and I think even CZ or some of the guys might be able to verify that, potentially Charles Hoskinson even, most likely a lot of companies are in trouble right now, but they're not letting us know just quite yet. Again, we've also seen people like, let's see here, guys like the guy, oh, here he actually is, this one, Kyle DeVries. He is the founder of 3 Arrows Capital. If you do not know, this is what basically the whole Luna situation was about, right? They went down, Luna went down, they went down, and FTX basically screwed them over a little bit, and things just kind of went into a little bit of a death spiral where things kind of went bad. Yeah, I'm just seeing a couple of people have responded. Let's see if anybody has said anything or if anybody joined my link. Not yet. I might also want to purchase the upgraded version, by the way. Yeah, but I'll get that done in just a second. So yeah, 3 Arrows Capital went down because Luna went down, as you guys probably have already seen. You can see here, he said, the universe works in mysterious ways. Over the past year, I've seen the highest and lowest of my life. Many guys love FUD campaign. Things are bad. You can say what you want to say, but you should be scared. In the sense that things will go down. You shouldn't be scared that crypto will never come back up, but you should be afraid of what exchanges have going on in the background. Proof of reserves mean absolutely nothing, to me at least. It just shows they have some control over some funds, but it doesn't showcase how much of a loss they're in theory because of all the liabilities that they have. However, the universe works in mysterious ways. Over the past year, I've seen the highest and lowest lows of my life, and I know many reading this have that as well. Again, interesting. Humanity, community, happiness are worth it. Love. My initial process was to spend my time searching and understanding. Less markets and screens, more grass and painting. I will look to share my understanding to the extent it contributes to good and to light. Yours truly, humbled and gracious. I ran a hedge fund, 3 Arrows Capital, with Sue for over a decade. 7 to 10 figures organic, which is actually pretty crazy if you think about it, right? Billions of dollars under management. Since 2018, we were all in crypto. In May of 2022, Luna exploded, and the aftermath of correlated positions and spreads. Investments all moving got us. Now, that's already where some debate comes in, but if we just accept that's not too bad. I'd say that's not too bad. We understand now that FTX Alameda hunted our positions, but at the end of the day, we lost our money. Again, we were the largest dollar losers, and that of liquidity providers and creditors. Today, we are not in control of the firm. There is a liquidation, I believe. Was this also Chapter 11? I believe so. Liquidation process, which will run due course for all involved. No, this probably was just like Chapter 7 or something bankruptcy, where they're basically in a lot of trouble in the sense that they just are fully liquidating things and not restructuring. Whereas with FTX, they're going for a restructuring. Luna/UST was unprecedented, and we completely messed up the thesis around it. We were attracted by the quality of backers builders team and didn't spend enough time on the mechanics. We didn't understand the contagion effect Luna would have, and we didn't think that one of our primary exchanges would hunt Luna and then us as a client, which again is kind of scary to hear. We didn't understand. We didn't understand the contagion effect Luna would have. We didn't think one of our primary exchanges would hunt Luna and us as clients. My biggest lesson among many is never trust, always verify. And my biggest change among many is empathy. Embrace others' perspective. What's next? I have some ideas, but what I'm sure of is it will do good and bring light. And so that was one thing. This was a good little response from him, I'd say, to a couple of the allegations and a little bit of the drama. He's basically kind of throwing some small shots at FTX for saying that they kind of messed them up because, well, they're betting against them. But if you scroll down lower, you can see a couple of guys like Fat Man saying, it's easy to blame others, but you left out the part where you lied about your assets under management, offered ridiculous rates in desperate bid to get more funds, and stole from your partner's segregated accounts. We all make bad trades, and that's okay. But deceit and theft are not. And he's basically banning every single person that has a slight little opinion towards him, which is interesting. But that, I believe, is also what's kind of going on the crypto.com front. Let me get you guys a little basis, and let me do that by quickly adding a microphone in this one. Test. I think that should be good. I think that should be perfect even. Yeah, by quickly adding a microphone to this one. Because as of this point, and you guys got to understand this very well, crypto.com might be in a whole lot of trouble. AAX might be in a whole lot of trouble, or they even halted withdrawals, so they are. And the same situation goes for many different crypto exchanges. The aftermath of this is not going to be good. We've seen a multitude of regulators and very big behemoths in the space already talk about it just now, but they basically said this, and I'm paraphrasing here, but they said, as of this point, guys, many people are texting me, and I'm trying to get people in, but they're... As of this point, you can't be certain, basically, which company has enough funds and which ones don't. All right, let's just quickly make that central. So I have a couple of things open, and let's quickly for 1 second go back to both of these right here. We can see within this entire little list that there's a couple ones that I'm honestly a little bit afraid of, but one of the ones that's already fallen, for example, is here Blockfolio, but there could be a couple of other ones like Bitfo Exchange, which I don't really know, and anything basically in this little realm, if it's an exchange-like type of party, they could do bad. However, I'm also sometimes thinking about how things are going to move on the Aptos part, on the Polygon part, on the Skybridge Capital part. What other, I guess, capitals might fall because of this little domino effect. Again, taking a look at AAX, let's quickly see if they themselves tweeted something out. I like the guys behind AAX. I've actually worked with them before at some degree in the past, and I think I actually still have some money on their left as well. But many people are going absolutely wild right now because apparently they also stopped handling their withdrawals. Let's quickly type it in AAX and see what all the guys are saying. Satoshi Stacker about an hour ago said AAX exchange halts withdrawals. And I can't really read the rest. Wu Blotchin also said it, breaking AAX, a Derivative exchange established. A crypto exchange established in Hong Kong in 2019 suddenly announced that it would suspend all operations, including trading, withdrawals, etc. It would take 7 to 10 days to proofread and restore users' assets, and AAX trading volume ranks in the top 20 in CoinGecko. That is pretty scary if you guys think about it. And so, for anybody watching this right now and thinking, oh, but this won't happen to any of the exchanges that I'm using, think for just 1 freaking second. Think with your big brain, guys. A lot of you guys are freaking geniuses that you're already in this crypto space. Please, I consider the majority of you guys geniuses for being so early into crypto, but then to not have the mental capacity to understand that many of these platforms might be in a whole lot of trouble because of other parties. They themselves might have done everything right. It might have just been FTX that deceived everybody, and they might not be able to survive because of it. So take your money off. Even the Binance CEO, the best guy in the world, to say, no, keep your money on there because he benefits from that. Even him himself saying, take your money off, is the biggest thumbs up for, I guess, him as a character. I surely, honestly, I guess, appreciate him for, I honestly appreciate him for being in that little, how can I say it the best way? I appreciate him for being as honest as he's been by saying to all the people, hey, take your money off of these platforms and move it into cold storage. And he basically linked Trust Wallet, which of course I believe that they own. So I personally don't want to shout out that too much because that might also be something bad. But yeah, he basically, we can see it 2 ways. Either you can draw the conspiracy pretty far and say, well, he's been one of the biggest douchebags in crypto for basically messing everything up and everybody up. That is surely something you might be able to state. But I'd like to also state it from the other side, which is he's calling out garbage, he's calling out bullshit, and, well, I can only thank him for it because now, because of his call out for all this bullshit, FTX has fallen. And honestly, if we now in hindsight look at the back end of things, well, I'm very grateful that he gave it a little jab, gave it a little stab, a little shtick, right? There's also guys like Kevin O'Leary, I believe. What do I have it still open? I'm going to quickly see if I still have it open. Let me see if I can play this for you guys without any issues. Let me see. No, I don't think this sound is showcasing either, huh? So I'm having some troubles, guys, with making sure all the sound is done right. For some reason, I usually do this well, but I've just, it's just not working. Let's see. Can you guys hear this? Can you guys hear that? Okay, let's try it again.
In managing the decisions on which projects to,
Can you guys hear this?
to invest in, because I'm very fortunate, my deal flow is insane. I see everything. And I have to disclose, I'm a paid spokesperson to FTX and a shareholder there too, because we mentioned them, and big advocate for Sam because he has 2 parents that are compliance lawyers. If there's ever a place I could be that I'm not going to get in trouble, it's going to be at FTX. So.
All right, and I believe, guys, okay, yeah, okay, it's pretty low, but I think it's okay. I believe that we have my dearest friend in here as well. Let me quickly see, man, let me see, because that is Crypto Birb. Let me see if all is good, because again, this is also my first time. Okay, let's see. Adrian, I think we can see you. I do not have the proper things set up to make you, completely beautiful. You're a little bit small right there, but I think, can you quickly say something? See if they can hear you. Even I cannot hear you this time. Wait a minute. Let's see. Right to source, that should be good. Video capture, microphone, audio capture. Okay, that is interesting. Why can I not hear you? Guys, he's upside down, people are saying. No way. Most unprofessional guy in the world, right? Can happen to the best of us. I'm trying something new, okay, guys? And doing it. Why can I not hear you? Okay, let's see. Microphone capture. It's the webcam and microphone sources like below will broadcast to your guests. Wait, so somebody's saying I just heard him fart. I don't think so. Do sign. No. Oh, he's not. Okay, people are just trolling me, but I can't hear him, though. So why can I not hear him then? Can you guys hear him? Can you say something again, Birb? He's not even speaking. No, he is speaking. Why can I not hear him? What's wrong? I can see you fine. All is good on that department. He's muted. Okay, so how do I unmute him then? For me, it looks as if he's just not saying. But again, guys, all I can see in terms of settings are a couple of different things, like microphone source, like one. But then I cannot change what he is supposed to say. He is muted. But how can he be muted, guys? And why could I then not see him? Does it for you say that you're okay? So is your music microphone? No. All right. Guys, by the way, this is not as easy as it looks. Okay, this is not as easy as it looks to be a professional streamer. It's not my best thing because all the settings look good. Restart. We can't restart. Panic mode. Panic mode. Okay. Let's see. Collab cam. Let's see. Collab cam properties. All right, I guess yeah, no, it says you should be fine. The collab cam basically says right here, you should have your monitor. Oh, there we go. I can hear.
Cool.
Let me quickly fix one more thing. Collab cam into change filters property.
I think you should get your sort of like a AirPods or something. Otherwise, everybody's going to hear echo like taboo.
Oh yeah. That's why I'm trying to fix it. Talk again once more.
Talk again once more.
Oh yeah. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Finally, can you guys all hear it now? Oh my days, guys. Oh yeah. So again, Adrian, so sorry. This is the first time that I've ever done a stream with somebody in it. I just tried to figure this out for like 45 minutes, and I finally got it. People in the chat are saying, he's like, stop wasting my time. I'm so absolutely sorry for wasting, indeed, a little bit of your time. All right, but this is Crypto Birb. Adrian, a good friend of mine, one of the most amazing people in the space, very knowledgeable, and a CTA certified technical.
Almost simply.
Okay, CMT. But yeah, I think you've also been involved with the whole situation. You obviously know about FTX. You obviously know about Binance. Just want to quickly see what your thoughts on the situation are and what you think about the matter.
Yeah, I mean, many people lost. I've been lucky a couple of times this year. I didn't lose a single bit or penny peso, on Terra Crush. I didn't lose it this time on FTX. Any sort of like remaining, I wasn't trading there. I had an account which was basically a ghost account for 90% of the time. So I only have like $1,000 up there in cash, which I basically withdrew like a week ago or something, just to clear it as soon as any tiniest mess just started appearing. So the risk on my side, was not there, right? Most of the time this year, anyways, like I've been staying outside the market, for 90% of the time. Because that is what the market conditions have been, kind of like encouraging. So eventually, I personally didn't suffer much, but lots of my friends did. And I was yesterday I was at this like crypto fight night, where all the crypto lads were there, and I was talking to like so many people, and 7 out of 10 guys, those fucking legends, like 7 out of 10 people, like professionals, professional traders, they were saying like that they were heavily affected, right? And I'm talking about people getting like 6-7 figure losses, like hundreds of thousands of dollars gone, their company's funds gone, like this is like some serious shit, right? And the way I think about that is, that everybody's an expert in the hindsight, right? When you have this bit of an hindsight, then everybody would try to play smart. But if some people knew that it was happening back then earlier, then why would have they never told it to anybody, right? So myself, like I said, I'm trying to actually do something in terms of like protecting, right? So in terms of like the Burbness community, our internal Discord, all the channels, official announcements, labels. we kind of like promote this safety so that we keep the money off the hot wallets or of the basically like exchanges, CXs. So I personally kind of like don't hold any money whatsoever except for like some fees like
Yeah.
$5, $10, something, just remainings.
Fees, you say?
I mean, whatever kind of like fees, like margin was left there basically from not converting 100%, but 99.95%,
I see.
there was something left. Also it's like a $20 remaining, so that something. So I don't hold any money currently, on the any CXs, on any centralized exchanges. I try to actually avoid decentralized exchanges. However, it's far better than any centralized version.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually, I think that the other, and foremost, security, safety for capital protection is going to be where you have this direct control, which is basically, your Trezor, your sort of like a ledger, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Again, not an endorsement, but well, that's what I basically use, right?
Yeah.
So this is typically what kind of like gets you a little bit more security. However, I would argue it's not necessarily always like safe either. When you think about that, any sort of like tiniest move that you do with your money, that you make with your money, any money transfer, any decision, even if you grab a fucking cash in your socket and you leave it outside somewhere, somebody's going to take it and grab it, right?
It's true.
So each and every single money form you have, if it's crypto, if it's gold, watches, if it's money, cash, whatever, then it bears significant, there at best bears like any risk,
Yeah.
right? The risk is never zero, basically. Even if they are so-called, risk-free rate, and that was supposed to be, the government bond, right? For like 10-year, treasury notes or something that were
Sure.
paying at the time, 2-3%. Right now they're paying like 4.2 or something,
Is that high?
right? So, well, that right now it is. Right now it is with this matter that inflation is double this, right? So we're still losing money. So it's not risk-free. You're basically losing money anyway.
Yeah.
So, like I said, there is no riskless environment anymore, and it's just a matter to answer the question like, what risks do I want to expose myself more or less to, right? And there is no like ultimately best solution. So, in my opinion, if you hold all your money on your treasure or something, but you still lose the seed phrase, then it's like all your fucking money is going anyway, right?
Yeah.
And this is like 100% risk in that time. So, which is why I would suggest to kind of like try to promote this healthy approach, this risk averse approach, that you would hold your money, your capital, first of all, outside of CXs. Just maybe hold a little bit on the DXs, which is what I do, but it's not much. And most of the money, crypto money, I'm talking, right, outside of other assets. Crypto money is basically on the cold wallets. But then even if it's cold wallets, then I would suggest still perhaps splitting it into 2, 3, 4 parts, maybe having 4 different wallets, 4 different treasures, and having quarter of a portfolio there, of a crypto portfolio there, another quarter there, so that it never kind of like when you lose a treasure, when you lose a seed phrase, so that you're not left with nothing, basically, right?
Okay.
So this risk distribution, I'll never put all your eggs into one basket, right? Regardless if it's trading, regardless if it's putting all your money into Trezor, I think it applies everywhere and at any time. That's what I promote within the nest. That's what I promote. I try to promote it on Twitter, and I think that the risk of this some sort of like a chain reaction of CX is collapsing, is what not only can trigger an actual like a capitulation on the market, right, triggered by the sell-off, but it can also again cause the miners to capitulate, because you have to remember that miners are already unprofitable, right?
Yeah.
The mining cost, the production cost for Bitcoin right now is close to $21,000. Right, of course, it changes with the mining difficulty, changes with the with the hash rate, with the blockchain network congestion. So all the things kind of like concerned, I would say that like the longer the miners stay under the water, unprofitable, the bigger the chances are that they are going to have to close this unprofitable business and cover for the losses by selling of Bitcoin, which is eventually what may trigger another sell-off of cascades, putting Bitcoin into this fucking death of spiral.
But what do you think might cause that then now? You think that this whole FTX situation kind of ties into all that? Oh, so
I think it
let's
make
wait, let me see if
I think
everything is good in terms of sound still. Just making sure. I think all is good, right? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, so I was talking about this lethal spiral, right?
Mm-hmm.
This death spiral that can basically, again, in my opinion, it could have got started already by the FTX as in this first, level of the domino, kind of like a,
Mm.
just puzzle that is going to just go and crack everybody. So I wouldn't be surprised, like I said, if there are many more exchanges and many or more projects that are secretly insolvent and
Yep.
extremely affected because of the FTX collapse, right? And if so, then the natural reaction, the logical reaction is going to be that many more projects are going to fail because they're going to start, announcing their insolvencies and bankruptcies. The others would start to follow. People would actually, commit this positive feedback loop, as in emotionally, irrationally, run for the banks and or run for the exchanges, and everybody will all of a sudden, perhaps even Binance, who knows, would
Mm-hmm.
like liquidity, right? And if that is the case, then there is not going to be any safe haven, any safe, centralized place basically to store your money. So not even Binance, not even like I said, any Bybit or any
Any
exchange, is
exchange,
going
yeah.
to give you a little bit of certainty, right? Of any project. So this is the situation where this Murphy law acts, and when there's this tiny little possibility for all this mess to come all together and all these tiny details, just come all together and act against you,
Mm-hmm.
then such a domino effect and snowball effect can actually make it happen, right? And if
Sure,
that
I
is the
guess.
case, we are facing the capitulation on the side on the crypto like a complete fucking nuke. Bitcoin tagging like $10,000-$12,000 or something. You're looking at complete disaster and a complete fissure in the Alcon market. You're looking at this overall FUD. You're looking at crypto exchanges coming in toast. We're looking at tons of SEC, prosecutions over like some illegal activities on the crypto side, which kind of like come out to the surface, after all of this insolvencies start rocking up. So I would say we are in the very, very dangerous position market wise and then fundamentals wise, which is not really helping. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I would say Bitcoin performed well, and I'm mostly like except for my long term kind of like holdings, I'm 50-60% in cash right now,
Really?
right? So it's yeah, I mean I have my long term holdings, Bitcoin maybe more even.
And
I have my
define
Bitcoin.
cash. What do you mean with that? Like stables or
I mean
actual?
no, I mean stables, right?
And which ones? Which stables do you think are good?
So again, it's not a matter of, I mean, of course, it's a matter of which are good. I would go for the most liquid ones. So my eyes are always at Tether, at USDC, and then BUSD. But again, you don't have to. You have this comfort not to have to choose one and only. You can just basically choose a couple of them, right? Why
Mm-hmm.
don't you go and split three, positions, like one position into three, 33%, equal, and and there's like even if one goes down, then it's still kind of like having lower risk than otherwise if you put all the money you have in a tether, right? So that is also like, because tether is also a a centralized in a way, right? It's a company backed.
Sure.
It may happen that if such a shit show comes up and it accelerates, and again this domino effect just starts piling up, then it may happen, that there's stable coins coming to crash, right? And so the stable coins stopping to exist overnight.
Yeah.
And this is going to be like even worse, right? So like I'm saying, it's all about risk management, risk mitigation, and the easiest step is like to divide your stake, whatever you have, and then some 3-4 different spots, store it, be 3 different treasures, 3 different cryptocurrencies, 3 different 4 different, stable coins, something. And it's going to be always going to be better if you lose 20% of the price if you lose 100%, right?
That makes a whole lot of sense. But then, so you are not afraid necessarily of things. I mean, I just heard you say, I think, that all these are centralized companies, they could all fall. But then are you not like preparing, I guess, for maybe a Tether, for example, to fall, and then that would just cascade into a lot of negativity all over the space? What I'm thinking sometimes is, well, if Tether falls, everything is going down. So there's almost no point in trying to just exclude all these staples. On the other end, I'm thinking, well, I could just get into actual cash instead of Tether or instead of stablecoins. What do you think about that one?
Yeah, yeah. So like I'm saying, like crypto itself is a high risk asset class, right? So I'm like, even if I lose all the cryptos, I still have all the other assets that I've basically got over the past, years, which
Mm,
makes me protected because of like only about 30-40% of the entire kind of like 35%, I believe, of the entire wealth is in crypto. So like I said, even if I lose everything, I'll still be good. But that's it. I'm never 100% all in. I'm never 100% all out. When you kind of like professional fund managers, money managers approach it in a way that you kind of like, you underweight or overweight your portfolio towards specific, you know, well or bad performing assets, right? You
sure.
want to go overweight on your portfolio on an asset that performs well, that it's generated a lot of momentum and relative strength, and you want to go underweight on your portfolio, that basically just, has been underperforming for the entire time, right? So this year, the biggest winner has been dollar, has been, yields,
Yep.
has been, defensive stocks, which lost or are slightly breaking even, but it's still not 80% down, just like Facebook Meta is, for instance, right?
Hmm.
So, so I would argue again that seeing a lot of relative strength still staying in the market on this defensive side, on this recessionary side, which is like expensive energy prices, like breaking to new all-time highs, per the energy fund of the S&P 500, um, or even those defensive sectors, like I said, this, healthcare or the consumer staples, right? Or utilities, those have been consistently outperforming this year, all the risk assets, and Bitcoin is on the far extreme of those underperformers, right? Bitcoin has been one of the biggest laggards and one of the biggest underperformers this year, which by this momentum principle basically tells you that outperforming assets will continue to outperform and underperforming assets are more likely to continue to underperform. So you would underweight your portfolio on Bitcoin and on the other risk asset, but you would overweight your portfolio, so which would allocate more percentage of your portfolio allocation to defensive stocks, right, and defensive solutions. Uh, so that is a little bit of a rundown. So even if I lose everything on crypto, I'm not going to be going as an investor, right? Because only 30%, 35% of my portfolio is entirely in crypto. And this is what I like. Everybody's going to have different risk preferences. Some people are going to be more risk seeking. The others are going to be more risk, verse. And everybody would have to have their own different fit depending on their life situation, where they are, how much money they want, how much money they want to have, or how much money they have. So it's there's no one simple answer, but the general rule of thumb is so that you never put all your money or all your eggs into one basket. I think this is like the simplest way to put it.
Okay. And I saw, at least I know that you don't have all the time in the world. So I'm going to quickly ask the people if they have a question for you. Since, again, you have a lot of different expertises that are not my niche, like, for example, the certified, oh, I always forget that name, CTM, Certified Technical Master. What does it stand for
It's
again?
it's a chartered market technician.
Charter Market Technician. And what does that stand for? If you could just explain to the
Uh,
people.
it's CMT. Yeah. So CMT is an accredited, well, technical analyst, if you will. But CMT Association, which gives this organization based US, which kind of like designs, gives this designation, I should say, designates those market technicians. Like there are only 3,000 with title holders in the world. Like I'm the only title holder in my country. So this is a lot of nobility, but also a lot of promise and trust, for myself, that I want to promote healthy approach to technical analysis, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this organization and CMT basically was born in order to standardize the approach to technical analysis, which means, again, bring certain roles and suggestions, and kind of like clear the organizational mess, right? Because technical analysis, which is this art of reading the price action, the art of reading the price study, basically, of the historical records, uses statistics, right? So it is an actual like science, but it also involves a lot of uncountable, phenomena to it, which comes from the psychological, right? Aspects. You cannot really quantify human behavior well, right? You can try to measure, certain indicators, indexes, like fear and greed index. You can try to measure the sentiment, but it's never going to be accurate, right? There are always certain assumptions that you make, and when you make assumptions, then quite likely you're going to not be accurate. And like this technical analysis is where the medicine was in 19th century, right? So people like were falling sick, but they didn't know what was happening that because they couldn't see germs, right? The germs
Yeah.
were too small to actually see it, so they didn't believe they existed. The people didn't believe atoms or subatomic structures existed, right? Like protons, neutrons, or even quarks, and yet still exist. They do exist, right? So it's a little bit similar here. So people don't really know why technical analysis works, and and then some people very wrongly think that technical analysis is going to be this crystal ball that when you learn a couple of lines of tricks with chart patterns, you're going to be 100% always right. But this is kind of like this very stereotypical approach, which is very wrong, right? Because well, first of all, there is not a single situation in your life that you're always going to be 100% right about anything. You're always going to have losses. You're always going to have failures, whatever that regards, trading or outside. And it's all about managing the risk. So technical analysis is much more than a crystal ball. It's more of a risk control kind of like technique that gives you again the way to manage your portfolio, to manage your investments, right? Because you know that the markets trend at times and that they tend to overshoot expectations on the upside and to the downside. All right. So if everybody expects, let's say, 15,000 to be the bottom, then it may well overshoot in the panic to the downside and just go well like $10,000 or something. It works in the upwards direction too, right? So technical analysis is barely an attempt to quantify that, right? Via using the historical charts, because there are certain patterns that nobody knows why they exist. Most likely it's because we make them exist as traders, as people, because of self-fulfilling prophecy, right? So we would see certain pattern and react to it accordingly because we read it in a book. And if enough people of the same kind of like thought process would apply the same decisions, then it actually causes the pattern to execute in an expected way. So technical analysis again needs to be standardized, and it's not been standardized well, right? Yeah. It's not been standardized. It's very misconcepted. Like I said, it's very stereotypical. Like people just think it's a set of squiggle lines and that it doesn't matter. Or if your fucking trend line just breaks, then it's already done. That technical analysis is shit. It doesn't work. Like mathematics is also shit if you cannot quantify or add one to another. Right, so that's the point, right? And then CMT as the organization, Chartered Market Technician Association, giving this designation to the 3,000 people, including myself, all over the planet, is attempting to kind of like collect and standardize and normalize this information in order for the people to understand and comprehend it better, just the way it was in 19th century medicine.
That makes a whole lot of sense. Now, I actually saw two questions. One, what do you use for your beard is question number one.
That's like, what do I answer?
Yeah. And the real question was, how long do you think it will take to see the worst of the fallout to be past us and feel some assurance that all collateral damage that could be done is done? So again, how long do you think it will take to see the worst of the fallout to be past us and to feel some assurance that all collateral damage that could be done is done? And that's the last question.
Let me start from the bottom up, or actually from the end. So there is no assurance, there is no certainty, there is no 100% guarantee, right? Because like I said, even if the chart pattern looks good or looks ready to rally, to lift off, but there is nuclear fucking war just starting for something. Right, and then everything just goes to zero, or like you never know that. So which is why I'm saying it's never risk free. There's always like 100. There's always 100. Never 100% certainty. Like right, you're always going to have like a risky environment, and depending, just the question to answer is how much risk you're going to have. So no certainty, no assurance. You never know that, right? Yep. And even if it's looking good, it may turn down anytime. That's one. And another point is, I think that the more congestion, the more dense the situation is in terms of like the more shit show is going on all at once. Typically, it kind of like wipes out the market because it triggers a lot of volatility. And this volatility is a proxy of risk in finance, basically, right?
Yeah.
You measure risk with volatility. So so the bigger the volatility, kind of like chops at people on the upside on the shorts, and chops at people on the longs, which are protected with stops. So the bigger the volatility, the bigger the risks of losing on both sides of the market. And at the same time, which is exactly why the volatility kind of like peaks and whenever the reversals come in. So the bigger the volatility, the bigger the shit show, the bigger the congestion, the thicker this, kind of like entire madness is.
Mm-hmm.
The more likely we're closer to the bottom, or to a reversal, right? That's the way I would put it. So you have to kind of like try to and see, if there's like this cascade, this like worst case scenario, and there's this cascade of chain reactions and sell-offs and market capitulations and miners capitulations and exchanges falling down, then eventually it's going to lead to this selling climax, which is going to basically typically be followed by this V pattern reversal or something. This very sharp reversal stepping from people who see opportunity from the opportunities. And if enough people of this large caliber with a lot of money just see opportunity, the prices are, because of local, liquidity, are going to basically shoot up. So long story short, I would say that the bigger the mess, the more closely we are to the bottom most of the time, more and more likely than not. You never know what the bottom comes, right? So I'm kind of like trying to observe again, instead of like guess and hope for the best, that my guess is always going to be right.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to observe like how much shit there is, right? And I know that there's like, again, if one cockroach comes out, right, there's more likely that there are more of them just hiding somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the more cockroaches just come in, and eventually there is this entire flood of those fucking like bastards coming up. Then this is where you most likely know that the worst is behind you. I think that time-wise, like the bear markets historically don't last as long as this one, right? So I think we're closer to the bottom than not, for sure. I'm not expecting it to last months. Bitcoin really loves, historically putting in the reversals, whichever direction, in December's.
Mm-hmm.
So just maybe we'll see, there is no guarantee, but maybe in December we're going to kind of like get this capitulation sell-off, selling climax, and then rally back. Like as soon as we see this irrational, this worst kind of like unimaginable situation all coming all together, then this is like when you just want to give up, right? When you're just like, what the fuck is even this? Like, how is this possible, right? So the more of this, what the fuck is this approach you have, or you see basically, then the more likely this is an actual bottoming process. So that's the way I approach it. It's very hard to quantify that.
Makes a ton of sense. At the end of the day, he can never really know, but makes what you're saying. I would fully agree with. Man, I don't want to take up too much of your time, man. So I'm just gonna say thank you very much for stopping by and giving your thoughts on everything. Again, man, I'm not even sure how to actually get you out of here, all right? So just so you know, you're going to have to maybe press some of your own button. I think I just have to press disconnect. Yeah. So maybe you're going to be stuck in here forever. But thank you so much for actually being my little guinea pig to everything, brother. Talk to you later. I'll talk to you in the chat. And again, guys, this was Crypto Birb. Check him out on Twitter. You guys also have a YouTube channel?
Yeah, we have. It's under the Birb Nest.
The Birb Nest as well. Okay, Birb Nest on YouTube, Twitter. You guys will find him pretty simply. Big beard, Birb, it's pretty easy. But yeah, all right, brother, thank you, and talk to you later, man.
It does, bye.
All right, let's see if I think I did it well, right? Yeah, all right, that was all good. All right, so again, let's continue on with because that was awesome, all right? The whole conclusion, I think, of the story, the most important one is diversification at the end of the day is key. Guys, there's absolutely nothing more important than making sure that your money is in a couple of different places. Nothing beats that one. Just to make sure you guys understand that. Let me reiterate this again, all right? For all you baboons watching this right now that are not actually listening but just watching. Make sure you understand. If you have your money in one place, bam! When I get smacked, you guys all go down. All right? But if you have your money in two places, there's a chance that one of them gets smacked down, but you still can survive. And that's exactly why you diversify into different things. You are never certain that none of them are not going to be smacked down. Even Binance. I love Binance. I do. I honestly, from the bottom of my heart, love those guys, love them to the death. And I honestly don't think anything's going to happen to them. It doesn't make a lot of sense. I've actually been in a lot of different conversations recently here where people address that situation where the conclusion that I draw, and I think a lot of people will agree with me here, is that it does not make sense for them to be in a whole lot of trouble because everything just adds up for them. They're not necessarily lending out that crazy amounts of money. That doesn't make sense. They don't really have the crazy obligations because they're all different entities. And, well, as far as we know, those entities are arranged well. And as of this point, they have the power of being the biggest of the biggest, where it's kind of hard to fail because nobody's betting against you, all right? FTX had the trouble of having a little bigger brother, in this case Binance here, to kind of smack them down. With Crypto.com, however, which was the central piece of the story a little bit ago. Man, let me give you guys a little scoop again. What I've said is things are not... Oh, let me get rid of this text right there. Things are not doing that well as of this point with Crypto.com because there's all this fear. All right, we are not really blaming people for not seeing through the FTX charade. Again, what I always say is, you couldn't really know because even Kevin O'Leary did not know that FTX was a sham, all right? Was a sham. He didn't even know that. But I've been putting it over on Twitter for a little bit. Guys like CZ are also trying to say, just take your money off everywhere. Friends that are with CZ right now, they have literally said, take your money off everywhere. I have literally gone through and spent hours today grabbing myself a couple of new Ledger devices, of which, by the way, you can see a link down below. You can check it out. To put my money on there. Somebody says you're spreading fear. You're spreading the fear. Okay, let me be the bad guy then. Take your money off. I would personally keep it on Binance because that's what I'm doing. I'm personally keeping it on Bybit, but BitGet I'm also keeping it on. Those three I'm keeping it on. Every single other one I've taken off. Personally, again, OKX, I love those guys. I've taken it off for now. Crypto.com, yeah, I can't say I love them. Taking it off for now. Which are the couple other ones? AX has already stopped withdrawals. BlockFi has already stopped withdrawals. If you have your money on Nexo, would personally take it off. Again, these are not jabs at these individual exchanges because of what they do or did themselves too much. This is just if I don't really have the most amount of freaking faith in them, I'm just not risking it. And I'm not sure exactly who it was. I think the Barbados Excellency, he basically said, why not just take it off for a couple of weeks to see how the market turns out? And then if all was well, put it back on there and enjoy the show. If you have a trading little fund, a little bit of trading money that's on an exchange, I'd say sure, it's fine to keep it on there. I'm not going to be that guy to say take every dollar off. I kept a couple $1,000s here, a couple $1,000s there, just because, well, I might want to quickly buy something. I need maybe to have an opportunity, for example. And again, as I said, on Binance, I am keeping some funds. I personally just don't think it's smart to use all these second-tier exchanges. I have a couple of old ones. Hit BTC, I think I still have an account on. Bittrex is old and gold. Again, it doesn't really seem that like they're unsafe, but I would personally, again, just not associate with any one of them to keep my money on. I don't think these guys are really in the risk factor just quite yet, but I don't think it's just worth the risk. Let me just put it like that. I just don't think it's worth the risk. I don't think it's smart. I don't think it's wise. And that's what I try to keep telling all my people. If you see the thoughts over on Twitter, you also likely find. Let's actually look it up for a second, right? Let's look it up, for example. Crypto.com. If you take a look at the amount of ad spent, you can see it's actually trending right now as well. You can see it over on the right. Chris, here, BitBoy. I just withdrew all my funds off of Crypto.com, which, by the way, still works. I've tested it out. I took all my money out. It's absolutely working fine. Again, can I say you should do the same? I personally say, hey, not your keys, not your coins. Elon Musk has said that yesterday on Twitter Live. The Binance CEO has said that, not your keys, not your coins, because it's the truth. And again, proof of reserves doesn't mean everything. I'm personally, people are asking me in the chat box, is Bybit fine? Is Binance fine? Is Nexo, I don't know. Bybit and Binance and BitGet are the ones that I'm fine with right now. BitGet, because I'm thinking they've made a ton of money recently, and honestly, they don't have any crazy investment firm where they could have lost a lot of the money, so it doesn't make sense for them to go bankrupt. With Bybit, I just honestly, from the data that they've given to us, things just look really well. There's a couple of inside memos that we have seen as people that work with them closely. Things look really good as of this point, let me add. And for Binance, you guys all guess the same as I can, right? Binance looks pretty good, but things could be darker in the back end. MEXC, I've never used personally, don't have an account, will not make an account as of this point. Unless things change, not using MEXC, but I personally would not keep my money on there. Pick another one, all right? Nixo, personally, would take my money off. Just own personal thoughts on the matter. KuCoin, boom, took my money off because I don't like those people anyway. KuCoin ate my people. Before, I used to love them. They used to always be so kind. And then they shut my account down for no reason for a little bit, which I was really confused by. Then they locked me out for a little bit. I was really confused. They didn't have the proper answers. Then a week later, when I made a big fuss about it over on Twitter, they were very quick and very nice, but screw them. So I don't keep money on KuCoin personally, even though I used to really enjoy their company. BitTrue, I don't know. I don't think they're having... This is my own thoughts. I'm not trying to say that I know this because at the end of the day, they're all individual exchanges with their individual balance sheets, and we cannot have insights into what exactly they've done. Because even though they might tell us, those might be lies, and even if they don't, well, it's not like you could have used the information to any extent anyway, right? I mean, what can you do with the information? Not that much. But personally, again, Bitfavo I think is quite good. Their regulations in the Netherlands are so significant that I'm honestly not so sure they could really have that much of a trouble, right? Those guys are really, really properly regulated. So I think Coinbase and Bitfavo, for example, are guys that are pretty damn safe. Coinbase, Kraken, I think is also pretty nice, and Binance. I think those are pretty damn good. MetaMask, of course, you can. This is going to be fine. MetaMask is cold storage basically, right? You have control over your own funds. It's not an exchange. It's not as if they can just send your money out. You're your own controller, and the same thing goes for a ledger. The same thing goes for a trust wallet. Basically, you control your own funds. So those by definition are fine, and those are by definition the ones that you should go towards. People say I think MetaMask is not fine at all. I like Trust Wallet and Ledger. Yeah, I mean, everybody their own thing. So please, guys, if you're asking me this or that exchange, again, the only thing I can say about it is there's a couple things that I honestly really like. I personally like Ledger. I personally like Binance, Bybit, and nowadays BitGet, but that's a newer one. And BitGet is mostly for the reason that I think they made a lot of money, and they don't really have a negative liability sheet because I've not seen them invest like that yet. Whereas with FTX, we know the connections and we know how they've been doing things. Trust Wallet seems completely good because, well, you have control over your own funds. MetaMask, you have control over your own funds, and that's so it kind of goes on for things. Exodus, you can have control over your own funds, which is a free software wallet. The only problem is the fees are significantly higher, and I'm not sure if you can edit them. Maybe nowadays you can actually do that, where you can transact with a lower fee. But if you have it on Uphold, I would say take it off. Why not? Why would you keep it on there? Again, unless you're trading with that, take it off. XUM, I believe, also is self-custody, so you still have control over your own wallet. I think they were going for a custodian license. I don't know if they are officially one. But you can just check. Do you have control over your own funds? If so, it's good. If you don't have control over your own funds and they're not your keys, they're not your coins. Again, let's think about this again. If they are not your keys, they are not your coins. If you have control over your keys, things should be good. But that's literally what he says as well. BitBoy says, I withdrew all my funds off of Crypto.com. I don't necessarily think anything is wrong with Crypto.com, even though there were a couple of sketchy things going on. But if you haven't learned the importance of self-custody by now, then there may be no hope for you, not your keys, not your crypto. So again, I personally have gotten a couple $1,000s on Crypto.com left to use with the card to just, to just to be sure. But I take the majority of my money off. If it's in the lending program, well, you got to think about that. Isn't it kind of strange that a lot of these exchanges had lending programs from the get-go? It kind of is. It kind of is. And it's going to mature, this entire situation is going to really, really mature the crypto space because, well, people are going to take another very big look at crypto exchanges from here on forward and think, well, does it have this? Does it have that? Why does it do this? Why does it do that? Yeah, but that's, again, what's going to happen in the near future. Right now, though, we're not there just quite yet. WC says, buy a ledger and only leave your coins to trade on exchanges. Exactly. But you might want to keep some funds on exchanges just for a very short amount of time. I don't think that's personally a bad thing, a bad deal. I think that might actually be rather smart even. But what I do not agree with, and you guys should understand this really, 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 really carefully, what I do not agree with is to keep all your money on exchanges. Nor do I think it's smart to have all your money on cold. I think you should always keep some really, really liquid funds. Then again, a MetaMask is very liquid. A Ledger is just a little bit more cumbersome because you need your device, you need to approve things. But if you're using MetaMask, for example, that can be a very, very quick cold storage, but it cannot allow all those coins. In that sense, a Trust Wallet might be a little bit better as they allow for more different options to actually store on there. Can you pin recommendations for wallets in the chat, please? So the only one I think I have it somewhere in my chat. Let me see. The only one that I personally have a referral link to is Ledger. I'm not sure if you guys can see it in the description somewhere. Let me see. I'm not so sure why I'm in my thingies right there. Yeah, even Charles Hoskinson, Cardano founder, he even said it in the live stream that I was in earlier. He said, take your freaking money off. Let me quickly go back and show it to you guys. This is the Ledger link. Should you use this one? Whatever. It's the one that they gave to me a little while ago. That's to buy yourself a Ledger if you want to. You can also just go to the Ledger website and buy yourself one. Somebody says, how much crypto can fit on a Nano X, like 10 Bitcoin? Well, infinite amounts. You can, I'm not sure why you're asking me how much you can fit on a Ledger. You can fit as much as you want, my brother. You can fit as much as you want. Even with Trezor, you can fit as much money as you want on there. Sherwood says, Dusty, what do you recommend for security on computers? I run some programs, but I don't really trust anything anymore. Yeah, just have a, okay, so that's a really privileged thing, I should say, but I would always say get a crypto, like, computer, so to speak, one that mostly stays offline and you use for some very specific things. But the same thing goes for a phone. Get a crypto phone. But that again depends on how much money you have in the crypto space. If you're at the $1,000 range, this might not be something to really look into. But if you're in the, let's say, $5 million range, this might be something you want to look into. Maybe even with multi-million dollars, I don't know. But just something to kind of let you guys in on. It depends on how much money you have, right? Ledger is very low on MB. What do you mean, MB? Looking good, dude. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much, brother. Where you guys are watching from, by the way? Where you guys are watching from? The only money you should have on exchanges is the money you need to short-term trades only. Exactly. I honestly agree with that. And OG Max says, hey, Dusty. Oh, yeah, I already said that just now. I want to thank you for your time and effort in this time of uncertainty. People need voices like yours to steer them in the right direction. Not your keys, not your crypto. And again, guys, I do not want to be that guy. I do not want to be the guy to say, hey, take your money off of exchanges. Everything's unsafe. But you have to be, right? Would I rather say, guys, everything's going to be fine. We're all good. Yeah. Wow. I'd rather be that guy. But hey, life sometimes ain't that nice. It just ain't. And so you got to prepare for that. And you got to potentially, in this case, take your money for the fuck off. Yeah, guys, I'm completely honest. I just got myself a couple of new ledgers a little while ago already. I have a little batch of them. And whenever I'm basically doing some money managing, I set them in different devices, basically. But I just grabbed a couple new ones, and I just stored money on there. Boom, boom, boom. The reason I'm saying that is because you never want to be too late, I guess. I even asked her, do you think Crypto.com or the coin is in trouble? 765 likes, and that basically says a lot of people say yes. There's a couple people who said no, but realistically, I think that's pretty stupid. This guy says, if you ask your teacher who has a competent field of knowledge. Even if I answer, I will say yes or no, but I have no reason for that, okay? Maybe he's trying to, not so sure exactly. Everyone who joined podcast 10 minutes ago would understand what to do. I think I'm out. Good luck, guys, because CZ was in the space, given his thoughts on the matter. Yeah, just, guys, I don't know what else to tell you. If CZ is selling it, if Elon Musk is telling you, if Charles Hoskinson is telling you, the thing we're doing is creating a bank run, certainly. But if the bank run is warranted, you want to be the first guy to take your money out of the freaking bank. Again, that's exactly the way I should say it. That's exactly the way it should go. If there's an inevitable bank run, or at least you see the bank run has already started, and you know that people are going to take their money off of exchanges massively even more from here, what can you do? You have two options. Either you sit back, now let me drink my chocolate milk and enjoy the shit, or take your money the frick up because you're one of the first guys to do it. That is way smarter. That is a freaking 7,000 IQ play. I think people who are not taking the money off are idiots. And I don't like to say it that way, but I just think so. Again, there are a couple of different reasons why you might not want to do that. That's only for short-term trades. Crypto.com, unsafe. My own opinion. Why might Crow fall? Why might FTT fall? Who gives a crap? Don't do it. Don't trust them with your funds. If you want to be hardcore, take your money off of Binance. Okay, so I'm just saying what some people are saying in my major group chats, right? Just to make sure I don't miss any crazy news. Take your money off of Binance if you really want to be safe with everything. They don't mind. If they're properly backed, they're going to be quote unquote fine. But I honestly think, who cares? As long as you're one of the first ones to do it, it's all fine. My brother, it doesn't matter if you use the link. I get $7, maybe something like that, if somebody buys a ledger. Please just make sure you are safe with it. I'm just linking it there to make sure somebody uses the right link. If you want to buy a Trezor, buy a Trezor. If you want to use Exodus, a hardware, software wallet. I've actually had one computer before, I think, that I'm not using anymore. There's still, I think, maybe a couple Bitcoin on there. That's just from 2017, maybe. Little fun fact. That uses the Exodus wallet. And the reason is because it's pretty safe. You have control of your own keys. And, well, it's pretty simple to use as well. I believe you also have a mobile version. I would honestly recommend against keeping crypto on your phone. I personally have a whole empire of phones. You guys have most likely seen it before, right? I show them to you guys sometimes. I have just to show you guys a couple of phones right here. Just for fun. For example, one iPhone. This is one iPhone. One, don't even know what this is supposed to be. One Android phone. Another iPhone right here. Another iPhone, the one that I'm recording this with right now. We have more smaller iPhones, basically. Again, every single thing has a purpose. These right now are in panic mode, all right? So I have a couple of different countries that I have a base in, and a couple of different countries that I have some sort of storage in for some sort of different things. These phones right here all serve a purpose to connect. This is kind of funny why I'm telling you guys this. To connect to some other country, even though they don't have any crypto on there. That would be freaking dumb in the brain. Never crypto your, if you can, don't keep your crypto in your home. If you have to, keep it in a really safe place, I'd say. Personally, I'd recommend against it. However, Charles Hoskinson had a really good connect. The reason I say connect is because somebody says I have 5 big connect on BTC. So I'm just saying connect because I saw that. So, what I want to say, even Charles Hoskinson himself said, well, people can secure their security, what is it called? Social security number as well in their home, right? So even if you get ransacked, well, that doesn't get stolen. And the same thing, I mean, your whole money, your whole seed phrase is only one little line of text. Theoretically speaking, you can easily keep that safe. One line of text you have to keep safe somewhere, regardless of where you are. Unless your complete house just burns down, that's kind of awful. But that's why you keep it in 2 different places, if you, again, have the possibility to. Maybe just open up a safety deposit box at your bank, though. That's also one thing you could surely go for and keep it on there. A lot of people do it that way. Potentially... No, I don't know what else. You guys think about how to keep it safe, but keep control over your own funds and do it well. I wanted to ask Charles Hoskinson a question earlier, but unfortunately I did not get the chance to in one of the major discussions. And that mostly had to do with what if you have all your money on hard storage and you actually die, basically. But there are a couple of solutions for that nowadays. I actually asked David Source as well if he had seen this whole situation with FTX coming for a longer time. And he himself said, no, I didn't at all. He had me fooled. I've never been a particularly good judge of people, though. And again, the reason behind that is mostly that it's really freaking hard to spot a bad actor until the things are all revealed to you. Let's actually see a couple of different updates. Just in, Cointelegraph reports that the 3 former FTX executives, as well as Alameda Research CEO Caroline Ellison, are looking for ways to flee into Dubai, to my home, which doesn't have any extradition treaties, likely in reference to the United States. Okay, that could be interesting. Ledger Nano S is worth it. Yeah, I think so. I personally think so. If you have more than $500 worth of crypto, I'd look into it at least. There's a little video of Jim Cramer. Let's watch this together if we can.
Look, it was really a nightmare to get your money out. It was a nightmare.
Well, it's even more of a nightmare
every
for those.
minute. Say, tick
And the
tock,
Journal
tick
had
tock.
a story today. People who've lost a year's salary, young people, obviously, who are so disproportionately involved, I think, in crypto.
But how many warnings did they have? How many warnings? How many times did we sit here and say, listen, get the hell out of it? What did you have to do? I mean, honestly, go look at those joke coins that are being traded right now and ask yourself, why? Why are you in them? I think Powerball is worth more. I want to know why people are in those made up coins.
Munger.
Look, it was really a night.
So he's basically trying to say like, oh, I knew this all along. When in reality, we all know that's kind of BS. That's kind of garbage. You don't know exactly why he's playing that little game. I honestly think that's kind of a douchebaggy move. I'm not sure why he'd do that. He has a point where it's, well, get out of garbage coins. However, right now, even at this point, I'm saying, well, it might be worth it to just hold on to a lot of garbage because it might pop off. As you're already 95% down, well, it can't really get that much worse anyway, right? I just say maybe just hold on to it now because maybe if a big bull run comes, maybe if Elon saves the day, things will actually get better. And there's not really that much chance of things getting way worse as of this point, I'd say. But again, that's my thoughts on the matter. That is my thoughts on the matter. There's right now a lot of different analysts left and right just talking about different things. I'm seeing so much discussion over on Twitter and everything of people going crazy about it. I think this is, by the way, the absolute craziest time I've ever had on Twitter, crypto space, just in general. Just everything has just been kind of crazy. This is the library for my tweets. You guys can't see it, but I've been kind of scrolling through to see a lot of different things. There's also this one webpage that actually showcases the, I'd say, little history behind FTX. Here we go. Okay, I found it again. This kind of showcases the little, oh, you guys could see. Oh, perfect. There we go. Perfect. FTX's ongoing saga, everything that's happened until now. And it kind of summarizes the whole, oh, wow. They uploaded the thumbnail a little bit. It showcases just the whole beginning of things and through all the drama, what has happened at this point. Even Rand Nooner about a week ago said, take your money out of FTX, not financial advice. And a lot of people, a lot of my friends like Satoshi Sacker and a lot of others, they took their money out just slightly before the whole situation went down. But it's a sad situation, what happened to FTX. But as I said, the whole reason I'm making this video is purely so people don't keep making the same mistake and people don't keep making the mistake of thinking this is not going to happen to them. People that had the money on FTX or FTX US did not think things would go wrong, and now they have, and now they're kind of screwed. People then sold their money. Basically, when I was in Token 2049 in London, people were selling their accounts basically for 1/10 of the account value, because basically the moment that this exchange goes into bankruptcy, you know that they have $8 billion worth of liabilities, maybe 9. You know they have only $1 billion or so worth of assets. The best thing they can do is basically pay people back 1/12% or whatever, 1/10 of their assets or something like that. But the worst case, that cannot even happen, or that might take too long. And so people basically were like, you know what, I'm going to sell my account for 10-20%. And then a couple of days later, I think a day later or so, they actually allowed for some withdrawals yet again, which made things look, kind of stupid for the people who sold their accounts. Then it turned out that it was Bahama regulations, but then Bahama said it was not our regulations. Then it turned out they were actually hacked. And now the whole situation is just so freaking, I don't even know how to describe it, so freaking strange that all I can say about it is get your money the frick out. That's all I can say about the situation. Guys, let me quickly say again, if you've not pressed that like button yet, it would be greatly appreciated if you press that like button right now. All right, just press that like button. Why not? We've had over 2,000 people stop by and say hi to the chat box. A lot of people have been here for an hour or more already. You guys are awesome. Make sure you press that like button. We've had, let's quickly see, we've had roughly 108 likes, which is okay. But usually we get a lot more during a stream, which is okay though. I'm going to be doing a lot of more researching and digging to see what I can, I guess, describe better. I might also make a small little update video, maybe 5-10 minutes long, where I explain again why I personally take my money off of places like crypto.com, why I'd be so fearful. The coin, by the way, let me just show, the coin, by the way, this is the exchange reserves of FTX. Yeah, obviously they've been drained. The coin is not doing too well. Let me quickly see where the crypto.com coin is right now, if we can even find it anymore. Hey, Vichin updated the logo, I see now. Let us quickly see. Trust Wallet token is up 80% today because Binance CZ is just going absolutely wild because of it. It's been promoting the freaking living crap out of that one. Where is... Yeah, KuCoin token is down 20%. It makes sense. People are getting rid of their exchange tokens because it's a scary business to be in right now. What is the token called again? Crypto.com. So Kronos. It's down 25% today, and over the last, let's see here. Yeah, it's about 50% down since 2 days ago. Yeah, it's about 50% down since 2 days ago. That is definitely not good. I think you guys will all agree with me on that one. That is not good at all. Yeah. All right. But guys, I don't want to spend too much of your time anymore. Oh, I didn't even showcase this because I'm stupid in the brain. I wanted to showcase it right here. Chronos was not doing so well. I was showing the entire market cap, but you guys couldn't see it. I'm going to head out for a little second. I'll see you guys again later, though, in another couple of videos. I most likely will be making 3 or 4 videos later today because I am going to do some crazy digging. Then again, guys, very soon I'm going to Malta, so I might be in a plane for a little bit. And so I cannot really do too much at that point. But no, right now I'm going to go crazy on research. I'm going to look up so much stuff. You guys will enjoy it most likely because I'll also like in you on some guides and things you should be taking care of. I might even make a little ledger tutorial video, just explain to you guys how to use it. That might also be one nice thing I should do. But I'll think about that. I'll think about that. Again, if you enjoyed it, guys, make sure you press the subscribe button. I'll be getting you guys updates on the whole situation every single day. I'm going to try my best to keep you guys as safe as possible, make you guys as rich as possible. And that was it for right now, guys. Hopefully you all enjoyed it.